Hello everyone, we're John and Melissa Steele with Team Steele San Diego Homes here in San Diego. And we're really excited to connect with you today on, do you need a real estate agent in 2018, 2019, kind of the tech age?
Yeah, as real estate agents ourselves, you can imagine we get this question all the time, right? Like, do I need to work with you, right? To help buy or sell.
And what does that mean for the client? Like, what do you really get from a realtor these days? Like, what do they bring to the table? I think the first thing that we get to touch on is on the listing side in dealing with sellers. Most for sale by owners don't end up selling, and the reason being there are so many nuances to a transaction that it's really difficult to know all the ins and outs, negotiate the best price, do the correct marketing, all the things.
Yeah, I mean, I would say with today's technology, obviously it's become a lot easier to market a home online these days. Anybody can go and put their photos up on the internet and, have people looking at them. But there is a lot more that goes into it, obviously. And like Melissa said, often if you're trying to do it yourself, not only may you struggle through it, but you may not even end up selling it at the end of the day anyway. I would say the biggest thing that most for sale by owners run into is entertaining unqualified buyers. Entertaining their offer, letting people come in and out of their home without actually knowing if that buyer is qualified or ready, willing, and able to purchase that home.
Yeah, and think about that. You as Mr. Seller, do you know what qualifies a buyer who walks in the door? Probably not. I didn't know it till I became a real estate agent myself. Also, in terms of marketing, there are a lot of things that we're doing in the tech space. We always tell clients, sellers, when they're interviewing agents for the opportunity of listing their home, ask them what technology they're using to actually market your property. In this day and age, it's as simple as clicking a button in the MLS to get your property on Zillow, Trulia, all the things that you as a for sale by owner could potentially do. But we really take it one step forward. We do 360 video showings, we do virtual reality depending on the home. We're doing insane marketing where we're really putting it out to the people who we want it to be seen by, agents, clients. We have a buyer pool of several hundred buyers, if not thousands, for any given property. So really, it's the expertise that we bring to the table. We want to get the home sold for you. That's how we get paid and how you get paid the most. And then I would also say negotiations are huge.
Yeah, of course. So obviously, when you work with a real estate agent, the goal is to have that agent on your side, representing your best interests, fighting, every step of the way for your interests to be protected and ultimately to, if you're buying, get you the best deal, or if you're selling, get you the most money. And that can be very difficult if you're doing it on your own. A lot of sellers, especially, are often, too close to the transaction, so to say. You may get caught up in emotions and let something that may not necessarily be, a big deal or a deal killer kind of get in your way, right?
For example, actually, we just recently had a transaction where our seller really wanted his appliances. He'd spent a lot on the appliances. We got a very great offer, and he immediately wanted to counter it with some terms, keeping his appliances. And I thought we had gotten a really strong offer. We were negotiating it even higher, and I gave him the suggestion, why don't we offer the buyer a small credit and you keep your roughly $7,000 appliances. The credit that he gave to the buyer was $2,000. He kept his appliances. It was a huge win-win, and with that particular sale, we actually achieved the highest price point that the entire complex, the HOA complex, has ever seen. So it was a huge win. Like, our client got everything he wanted. We pulled the negotiation tools and tricks that we often use for our clients right out of our sleeve, and we were able to negotiate really expertly on his behalf.
Yeah, and everybody walked away happy, and ultimately that seller didn't kind of, potentially shoot himself in the foot by rejecting that offer or, making that buyer somehow unhappy or lose interest in the property. It's finding a way that kind of win-win for everybody. So how can we find the best path to success? And that's where our negotiations really come in.
Absolutely. And nobody wants to talk about the paperwork. We're going to spend very little time on it because I know you guys don't want to talk about it. But there is a lot of paperwork that goes into a real estate transaction, dozens of forms, purchase agreements, amendments. Do you have the knowledge to walk yourself through that and have a good understanding?
And protect yourself every step of the way. As a seller, there are certain things that you are legally obligated to disclose. And, if you're not familiar with the process and you sell the home yourself and maybe you either forgot or didn't know that you had to disclose something.
Could have been a simple mistake.
It could be something very small, but depending on, you know, how serious that buyer feels that issue is, you could be in very hot water as a seller, having, you know, potentially not disclosed some items that you should have legally.
Absolutely. And then one other thing that we bring to the table is we work with buyers and sellers alike. So we're about to transition into the buyer group and really what that looks like for clients and how a real estate agent can help buyers. But from a seller's perspective, we know what buyers want from your property. We do walkthroughs all the time with people who are prepping to get their home ready for sale, and they're thinking they've got to do a kitchen remodel or bathroom work or all this stuff, and I'm like, nope, do this, paint this little bit, do this, buy a $5 pillow. And we really help to guide you through what you have to do and what you don't have to do. One of the first listings we ever helped was a woman who thought she had to redo her entire kitchen. And when I ran her numbers, she realized that she would not get that return on investment. We crushed that listing for her. And it was awesome. Everybody was happy. So what does a real estate agent look like for the buyer side? Do you need one? You can look at Zillow and Redfin all day long, right guys?
Well, yeah, that's always an option. I really encourage people to always utilize an agent, especially when you're on the buying side. In the majority of cases, the commissions for agents are paid for by the seller. So
basically it's free.
And I would say almost every single case, you know, it's essentially built into the listing that seller is expecting that you're going to be working with an agent, you know, when you come to the property. So there's really very little to no cost for a buyer to work with an agent. But in doing so, you get a ton of resources, knowledge, experience, and expertise to draw off of. I would say especially for first-time home buyers, it can be very daunting trying to navigate that on your own, having never done it before.
So what does your real estate agent bring to the table in regards to expertise on the buy side? Well, one of the things that we offer our buyer clients is virtual walkthroughs of the properties. A lot of the clients that we work with are either out of the area. One of the things that we specialize in is people relocating to San Diego, or they're busy individuals. Who doesn't have a busy life these days? Come on, guys. And so what we do is we have 360 video cameras. We do showings all the time for clients while they're at work, and we send them the video to look at and see if they actually want to see the property themselves. We help them through the qualification process. We help them with the paperwork. Feel free to hop in, John. We do a lot for our buyers.
Yeah, again, negotiations, requests for repairs, you know, figuring out which items we can go after, which items are stuff that, you know, maybe we can take on. Ultimately finding that game plan, and we'd like to tell people we like to walk the fine line of, you know, trying to get as much as we possibly can from a seller without, you know, pissing them off.
Yeah, and we do a really great job of that. That is one of our strengths. Negotiations, especially being from the East Coast, is for sure one of Team Steel's strengths. So your agent may be telling you that they can do all the things in regards to technology. I can get on Zillow and Trulia. That's as simple as a click of a button. What else is your agent doing for you in terms of technology? Technology in today's day and age, the year 2019, it is necessary, like absolutely necessary. We have a plethora of technology and we know how to use it. We're constantly on social media. We're constantly utilizing things like 360 video cameras, virtual reality. So what is your agent doing for you, and how are they utilizing the technology? So one of the things that we do in particular when we are listing a home is we will connect with the seller and have a conversation with them about who the buyer looks like for that property. Is it going to be an investor buyer? Is it somebody who's looking for, you know, a nice remodel project? Is it a new family who's going to be looking to start their, you know, their first home and their first family within this home? We really think about the avatar, the person who's going to be moving into the home in marketing speak, and we utilize the technology that we use every day to really get the home in front of that ideal client.
Yeah, we're very big on marketing, but I would say we don't have a specific marketing plan for each property that we do on every single one. Reason being is every single property is unique, and every buyer that it's going to bring is unique. So like Melissa said, you know, if you're marketing a fixer home, maybe, you know, that's got good bones and could be a great fixer-upper for some first-time home buyer, that's going to look a lot different than selling a brand new construction home, you know, that's some luxury high-end. They're going to have a very different marketing plan because you're appealing to two very different buyers. And that's really what we want to drive home is every single client that we work with, we evaluate their situation and okay, how can we get them the best results and who's going to be, you know, the best buyer for them and how can we cater our marketing plan to them and get it in front of their faces. And kind of like Melissa said, it's very easy for a real estate agent to come in and just say, hey, I'll get your home on Zillow and Trulia and I'll build a website and all this stuff. Really, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and I would second guess, you know, when people ask me, what's your marketing plan? What's your listing strategy? You know, when I don't hand them a book in my interview, every strategy, every listing, every buyer is different. There's a different strategy that we're going to have to come up with together in order to achieve the goal that we have mutually. So ideally, you want to partner with an agent who is utilizing technology to the best of their ability and helping you to achieve the goals that you have.
Mm-hmm. And we're certainly not one size fits all. So everything we do is catered specifically to the property, specifically to your needs as a seller or a buyer. And we're going to basically advise you based on your current situation, what we think the best approach is going to be and how we think that we can get you, you know, the most money or the best deal or whatever it is that you're looking for. So let's talk commissions. Obviously, as a seller, this is a very important thing when it comes to hiring a real estate agent. You want to make sure that you find someone who's professional, knowledgeable, you know, a local expert.
Basically worth every penny.
Yeah, make sure that, you know, whatever commission you agree upon, that they're earning that commission from you, right? You don't want to sell your house and feel like, oh, why did I just give this big chunk to this agent when all they did was stick a sign in the yard and that's that. So really, when it comes to commissions, we urge people to really keep the big picture in mind and ensure that you're hiring someone that's going to work hard for that. Someone who is going to go to bat for you every step of the way, who is going to negotiate hard for you, who's ultimately going to, if they're representing the selling side, get you the most money for your home. Ideally, the least amount of headache, right? You don't want buyers falling in and out of escrow. You don't want it to feel like you're butting heads and pulling, you know, teeth every step of the way. Ideally, you would like a smooth sale, right? So
easy peasy.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, everybody ideally would like to get that with the least amount paid, right? But I would encourage you to not race to the bottom, so to say. There is a reason that discount agents exist, and there is a reason that people hire discount agents. But the result is also often a discount service, right? There kind of has to be some sort of give and take, right? There's no way that, you know, like the Ritz-Carlton can offer the service that they have at prices of Holiday Inn, right? So
I like that
it's
analogy.
really figuring that out, right? So there may be an agent who's willing to list your home for 1%, let's say. But I guarantee you there's going to be a massive difference in that listing agent's efforts, not only in, you know, their personal efforts, but also their marketing efforts, their negotiation efforts.
I mean, how well are they going to negotiate for you if they've negotiated 1% for themselves? Mm-hmm. 1% is typically like what we like to allot to our marketing budget.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it just makes it really like, you can easily look at it like, okay, great, I'm saving all this money, but there's a good chance that you could be leaving another big chunk of money right on the table next to it.
Yeah.
So it's really finding out, okay, what's the best approach to sell my home? Who's going to be the buyer that's going to give me the most money, and how can I get them through the door? And when you're working with a discount agent, they may take that one size fits all approach, right? It might be like, okay, awesome, you signed the listing agreement, great. Now I'm gonna put it online, put my sign in the yard, and I'll call you when we get an offer. And maybe you never hear from them until, you know, you get an offer or there's showings or whatever. Compare that to an agent, you know, that's going potentially a full price agent, right? Maybe they're doing virtual reality tours. Maybe they're doing Facebook Lives.
Maybe they're pitching it at brokers' caravans,
pitching
doing
at
events.
brokers' opens. Like maybe they're doing mailers. Maybe they're door knocking around the neighborhood. Maybe they're pitching it on local radio shows or TV.
Perhaps personally reaching out to clients that they know would be interested in it. People from their buyer pool, other agents who work with those types of clients. Real estate's relationship based. So if you're looking for a real estate agent that is an expert in negotiations, great at marketing, answers their phone, What else do we do?
Works hard, loves what they do, fun, exciting.
Yeah, if you want a real estate experience that will be fun, exciting, and like achieve every goal that you have, we would love to help you out. And really, that is what you are deserving of in your real estate experience. It kills us to look back on our prior real estate experiences and to hear the pain points from, individuals that we meet, people who become our clients, of past real estate experiences, nightmare situations, the agents who didn't call them back, the ones who were bad at marketing, who left money on the table. You do not get to have that experience. Ultimately, we really hope that you are able to connect with an awesome agent team, whether it be ourselves or somebody else. We like to help people nationwide, really in achieving your real estate goals. It should be an awesome experience.
Yeah, we're firm believers in the power of real estate. We are, we own property ourselves. At this point, we've obviously helped many buyers and sellers, and our goal is for every single person out there to have a positive real estate experience, whether they're looking to buy, sell, invest, whatever it is that they're looking to do. You are deserving of an awesome experience and having the opportunity to work with some amazing agents.
Absolutely. Call Team Steel if you want to chat.